Oh, they do. You just added stuff at the bottom. All right. For those that don't know, we are rated R, so you can say like fuck and stuff like that. But make sure, as you're saying things like fuck, that you're following our code of conduct, because we do have a code of conduct. So remember, there's like slides for this later. I don't know why these are out of order. I thought I moved them around or something, but we'll get to that more later. But make sure you follow the code of conduct because we're serious about it. In fact, there's a slide that says that or something. All right, so for our friends not in the United States, Kyle, I got the UTC times for you here. Also 24-hour time, because that's the way the world should work. So we are right now at about 18:30. Yeah, so the 101, hello, welcome, you're here. Good job. And about 5 minutes or so, depending on if I ramble too much, James Beals is going to do the news. And then after that, we have Trevor doing a talk on ADCS attacks. It's going to be awesome. After that, we're just hanging out. I don't know when the bar is going to close. It just depends on how thirsty we are. But you're welcome to stay here until 10 o'clock. All right, this is my nice little map. I drew this. Don't mess with like any of the equipment or anything. That's really important. We like being here. There are extra bathrooms, so like you don't all have to use the one out there. There's one in the hallway. Otherwise, you hopefully know where the pizza and the sponsors and all the bar and all that stuff is. Pizza's gone. Pizza might be gone. Did we run out of plates, though? No, plates are good. Sweet. All right. Brandon, you do this one.
Sweet. This is my my second favorite slide because I always get to present it. But so the idea we stole it straight from SecKC is challenge ideas and not people. So where's my guinea pig for this? Arden and I are really good friends, but man, we do not see eye to eye a lot of times. I can get heated with him, we can disagree, but at the end of the day, we're still friends. Why? Because I didn't attack him as a person. I challenged his ideas, and mutually together with that understanding, we can both grow. And I think that's awesome. And so that's what this is all about. This is how I embody that. We encourage you to do the same thing. If you start attacking somebody personally, you're not going to be welcome here, and that's going to be the end of your night. So keep that in mind as we continue on.
All right, here's the code of conduct. So there's a link to it. Everybody should read it. It's really important. We're actually really serious about it. Like Brandon said, like if you don't follow it, you are gone. So that's the thing. Just remember what I always try to say. There's a lot of people here you might work with, or you might work with eventually, so like keep that in mind, and that's a pretty good rule of thumb. Like if you wouldn't say it at work to one of your coworkers, don't say it here. Unless it's the word fuck, because you can say it here. In context. All right, bar staff. So basically don't drink too much. I know some of us started early, including myself. Thank you to Exabeam and Cribble for that. But if you are feeling like you're a little intoxicated, maybe have some water or have some soda, have a ginger beer, something like that. They've got ginger beer at the bar. If you can't drive, we pay for your Uber. It's right here. I took an Uber here because I knew I was going to drink a little bit, and I'm going to take an Uber home. It's free. It's like $30. 30 bucks each way. Yeah, $30 each way. So that covers you plus the tip. And it also works tomorrow morning through noon, I think. Noon or afternoon, 3 p.m. So like if you're not sure right now, maybe at 10 o'clock you decide, what, I'll come back tomorrow over my lunch break and get my car. Do it. Please do. SecDSM will pay for it. All right, who's the board? So I'm in the middle there. Brandon's right here. Colin's, I don't know, around here somewhere. There he is. Hi, Colin. You can contact us by email, on Discord, or just talk to us, all that sort of stuff. Volunteers, thank you. There's a lot of volunteers. We can't put all their faces on this slide, but here's some of them that have helped out quite a bit. We couldn't do this without them. All right, ways you can help. You can be a speaker. So I think we have speakers for next month, but I don't know about the month after that.
I think we have one for April, but we need another.
So we need one more talk and then more for after that. So if you have any ideas, bounce it off us. We can help you, anything like that. Doesn't take a lot. I mean, I'm standing here. I don't know how many times I've spoken, but people listen to me, and apparently they like it, so I don't know. You can do it too, I promise. CTFs. So CTFs are actually like really hard to put together. So Exabeam and Cribble did the one for tonight. That's really cool because nobody else had to do it. That's really awesome. But we don't have that every month. So if you have an idea for a CTF, like we can help you with that too, or you can just come to us with one. Doesn't have to be super complicated, but it's really fun and people really like them. So otherwise, Jared's always looking for help with the AV stuff, setup, tear down. Like these chairs don't unfold and fold themselves that you're sitting on. So like that has to happen, stuff like that. All right, shout out to our friends. So some of you are aware of this, some of you are not aware of this, and everybody should be aware of this. But if you give a lot of money to the Foundry in exchange for your very own branded bottles of whiskey, vodka, tequila, whatever you want. Everybody's always done whiskey, but like you could do gin if you want. They make gin here. And you could put your own brand on and everything like that. Well, if you're doing it and you're like saying, hey, this is because of SecDSM, we get direct credit towards being here for that. And so everybody wins. So these are some people that have done that. We really appreciate it. It's really great. It's really helped us out a lot. You and your employer could be on there as well. Oh, anything else you want to say? Or your vendors. Tell your vendors. That's even better. Then you don't have to pay for it. Keep it out of your budget. All right, transparency report. So generally speaking, the space is provided by us. Food tonight is by SecDSM. The drinks and the sponsor overall, and then also the wonderful CTF, again, was Exabeam and Cribble. Thank you very much for that. And Brandon has a special message for you on the next slide. He's going to tell you all about his vacation.
All right, so we use this platform called Open Collective, which I think is really cool. It allows every one of you to go see every dollar that we spend and how it's going. Like who's paying us, how much they're paying us, including the like our current bank account balance. So every month I go through and I divvy this up with what's actual and what Open Collective says that we should have. Well, today while I was doing this, I found fraud. So here's the story. It appears that someone used my SecDSM debit card to pay for checked baggage on United. So it wasn't us, so I've contacted the bank. They're in dispute. I contacted United. They were pretty helpful. Someone flew on February 11th from Tampa to Honolulu, and we paid for their bags. So so it's kind of an interesting element. So we actually are like legally headquartered out of Grinnell, Iowa. So we have a case open with the Grinnell Police Department to track down who these individuals were and hopefully bring them to justice. All said, it was like $372.10. So if all else fails and that we can't get that money back, I will personally reimburse SecDSM for that money because that's how seriously I take this transparency. So yeah, there's my story. Follow through next month and let's see what progress we made in our investigation. And if you're really good at OSINT, please come find me because I got a couple names for you.
So about next month's CTF.
Yeah, I thought that sounds like a great next month's CTF idea.
Whoever you are, you picked the wrong card to steal.
All right, so speaking of the CTF, we mentioned it a couple times. I think you can still do it. I think they have it open until like 8 o'clock. And they said it takes approximately 2 hours, so you still got some time to work on it. Go talk to them out there at the sponsor table if you're interested. I'm sure they can tell you all about it and at least get you like started on it. But it's pretty cool. Upcoming events. Not exhaustive. If you have some that we're missing, like definitely let us know. We have a whole channel in Slack, not Slack. Why did I say Slack? In Discord for this. But I put as many as I could think of on here. Obviously, we're probably missing some, but these are a lot of the ones that historically a bunch of people from SecDSM go to. So if you're like interested in going to one, like talk to us. Like we can probably find people. Or if you want to go to something else that's really cool and new, you can probably convince some other people to go with you. I know off the top of my head, I'm probably going to KernelCon. I know Colin's going to CypherCon for sure. Probably going to go back to Wild West. B-Sides KC, 100%. I mean, they're close. They're our friends. We like B-Sides. Yeah, all sorts of cool stuff. What else? Join our Discord if you haven't already. Like I said, you're going to miss out on a lot of stuff, including the other events and cons channel. Does anybody need this? You can get it from our website too. I'm just going to move on. All right, ready? I put this on here because I always just blow right through this. We're going to stop now and bring up James Beal.
Don't ruin the suspense of my first slide. All righty, who's ready for story time? All right, let's see. This month, this came out a couple weeks ago. The FBI and CISA dropped a warning out there about Chinese drones. If you weren't aware, DJI owns 90% of the drone market in the US for commercial drones. They are used by a lot of organizations. People that get licenses, you can actually get a license and need to if a drone is a certain size. And they are obviously collecting information. If you've ever used a DJI drone, you have to install an app on your phone, and it collects a whole bunch of information and about, you can't fly it this close to an airport and that type of thing. So the FBI is warning again, there's a significant risk because these are all Chinese-made devices. And as you can imagine, when it reports back all this information, if it's being used for monitoring critical infrastructure, I know there's companies around the world that use it to monitor pipelines, oil pipelines and things like that. All that information is going back to the companies that own it. Most of that is DJI, and DJI is in China. So it's not, as the following bottom quote says, it's not the boogeyman. We've seen them leak data, so it's going on all the time. So next up, so this is a lovely outcome of the Ukraine-Russia war. We've had crap going on back and forth. We got the Ukraine's IT army, the volunteer hackers taking stuff out. We got Russia taking stuff out. Russia actually turned around and hacked some webcams in a town and used that for actual kinetic warfare. So if you were wondering why IoT devices should be secured and why these things are a threat, this is a direct and obvious perfect example of why you should secure these things, why they need to be on separate networks, why if they get hacked into, they're dangerous. So obviously, in middle America, we're probably not getting targeted like Ukraine is, but it can happen and hackers can go after these things, especially if they're dedicated. Next up, in the failed department and uber failed department, but in the obvious department as well, the NSA is buying your browsing history without using warrants. So the warrant requirement right now and the FISA courts and things like that are tied to a lot of the communications companies. So the NSA just turned around and pulled the data from everybody else. So everybody else who runs apps on your phones that has rights on your phones, whether it's an iPhone or an Android, a lot of those apps you agree to some level of monitoring. They've slipped this in. There's ways to monitor things, ties back to things like the Flipper Zero, where they're using Bluetooth low energy communication, and you can actually shut iPhones and Android phones down. These apps are doing similar things to pull your data down, and they're turning around and sharing it. They're not getting consent, and there's a lot of work right now in the US government about getting consent for this type of thing, so that when you install these apps, you're not just consenting that they can turn around and take all that data and sell it to whoever they want, because not only is it the NSA, but it could be who knows who from overseas. And then to follow up on that, this just came out the last couple days. The KV botnet, which is the Chinese Volt Typhoon state hackers, turned around and got taken down by the FBI, and it was being used on hundreds of small office and home office routers. So if you're a smaller business or you're using Soho equipment, definitely take a look into this story and pull up a lot more information. And then at the same time that the FBI did this takedown, they actually released information about their work with the Soho router manufacturers to get this stuff taken down, because not only is it, as noted, being used to compromise devices, but it's being used to launch hacks into critical infrastructure and other US organizations as well. And then last but not least, we just had Microsoft get hacked this week. If you're not aware of this one, Microsoft, as they should have been doing, eating their own dog food, taking care of their own stuff, turned around and actually got hacked and released some information. So Midnight Blizzard is a Russian-based APT group. They came at Microsoft and actually got into a bunch of executives' corporate emails. Supposedly this is through some test OAuth app that was running on some test area, but it actually got into production and they were able to fish and pull down information from corporate email. So never good. Alrighty, that ends story time and threat intel. We always like to throw this out there for jobs. If you're hiring and you want to pop up and let us know who you are, what you're looking for, that type of thing. We always like to leave the mic open and give everybody an opportunity to talk. Anybody get a job opening and want to talk about? Going once? All right. You don't have one. Your company
No, I
just
know.
let everybody
Hey,
off.
hey,
What
no,
the?
we don't tell anyone that. So actually, not my company for this job, but a friend of mine asked me to give a shout out to it. So this is a open position at. Okay, so it used to be a company called TwinWave that got purchased by Splunk, and then Splunk got purchased by Cisco. So they are looking. I think it's still Splunk right now, though. So they're looking for a senior level phishing researcher, I guess. So someone to write detections for phishing emails and phishing landing pages, etc. So I posted that job out on the jobs channel maybe earlier last week, last week. Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I just don't know when. But it's there, so check that out. It's a really cool position. The person that actually asked me to talk about it here had actually given a talk at SecDSM where he went through like his whole fish kit detection stack. It was really cool. So if you're into phishing or
Level of experience.
senior level,
Senior level.
yeah, senior level. I shouldn't say if you're into phishing, but I guess if you're into detecting phishing, that would be a great opportunity for you. I can't say enough about that team.
All right. Next.
Brian Peck, Salmon's Financial Group. We're looking for a senior security engineer or security engineer. A few years of experience. You've got Proofpoint, Sims, whole gamut of stuff. We've just got project work mostly. Come see me if you have any questions or check out our website.
Thanks, man. Anybody else? Going once? Going twice? All right. We'll wrap things up. That's the end of the 101. You had to hear from all of us. We'll take a break until 7. And Austin's going to give his talk about, nope, that's old. Nope, that's next month. All right. Never mind. We'll take a break until 7. Trevor, that's right.